so his wife admits he was into that shit.
Whose wife?
David Carradine.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Let's check some mics.
Oh, okay, so.
Check 1, 2. Ooh, yeah, that sounds good.
We hot mic? Mic hot? Mic hot? Hot mic? You got hot mic?
You like hot mic?
No.
Check 1, 1, 1.
Double check, trip check.
Hey, you sound good. How do I sound?
Oh, yeah, sound good, man.
Hey. Check my Armands out real quick. Ooh, hey, ho, ooh, ho, what?
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about Mr. Kachigian?
Yeah, it sounds good.
All right. I got a ball bat.
If he hits me with that fucking ball bat one more time, I'm going to shove it up his ass live on the fucking stream. I'll tell you that.
I've hit Everett with the ball bat a few times today. He's a little bit upset about it, but it's, you know, you'll have that. It happens. It's not really an issue. Maybe it is to him. But.
Hey, if you're just joining us on YouTube after the fact, after the stream here.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is not the podcast.
This is not the show.
This is
before the show.
Yeah, this is.
So look down below. There's a link.
Have you been doing that?
There's a link. Hold on, let me get to Armand's area. It's down here. Click it. It's blue. It says something around like 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, but it'll say podcast starts at. The stuff beforehand is
us being dickwads and getting our shit together. Foreplay? That's gross.
For the actual act.
Whenever Armand gets
I wouldn't
here.
say there's penetration, though. We don't penetrate any subject fully to the point. I mean, yeah, never mind. We'll just stop there. What'd you say now? What'd you say about penetration?
I didn't say anything. You ever heard of Vic Morrow?
Vic
I know
Mackey?
you have. Vic Morrow. We'll get to it later, but he was the guy that was in the Twilight Zone movie. The one where he was traveling through time because he was a racist.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I remember that.
His death?
Yeah, no.
Oh, it's interesting.
The character or the guy that played
The guy. He died on set.
Uh-uh.
Dude, wait till we get to that. It's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh, man, that was a good one. He was back in, like, the slave days, but he was in, like, 40s Poland or whatever right. Also, you know?
Yeah.
He was Jewish. Yeah, that was nuts.
That was a good movie, Twilight Zone, the movie.
Yeah.
Had John Lithgow doing the remake of the...
But see, it's been so long since I've seen that. So, like, what was the whole deal with, like, the kid?
Oh, the kid? He was like a god.
Is that what it was? Okay,
basically,
he
it's
wanted,
just a
like,
weird...
cheap peanut butter? Or no, what was this?
He was a kid who had godlike powers, basically. He wanted this family here, but they didn't like him because he was a little brat.
Well,
so he eventually got vindictive. You know what I mean? Over the eons. Who knows how long that kid's been around? You know what I mean? Or that entity that is that kid. I think so. Who knows who his original parents were? Who's to say?
That's fucking crazy.
Did you know, though, that the John Lithgow segment with the thing out on the wing was a remake of an original Twilight Zone sketch? There's something on the wing. Remember
yeah, Jim Carrey.
He was making fun of William Shatner doing that in the original Twilight Zone.
What about
you know how
the
Shatner
guy,
talks? There's something on the wing.
What about the guy that...
Kick the can? Remember that one? Kick the can. That had the old people that turn young again.
I do remember that.
What was the other sketches in that?
The CCR song was playing in the car. He's like, you want to see something scary?
Yeah, that was what's his name? Albert Brooks and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, that was good shit.
Yeah.
That was Dan Aykroyd, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's still alive?
He was at the very end of that movie. After the...
Last time I seen Dan Aykroyd, he was fucking...
He's a bigger guy, but, you know, since the 90s, he's been a thicker guy.
Yeah.
You ever see Grosse Point Blank?
No.
I mean, he's had that same build since then.
John Cusack?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It was a good movie. Pretty funny.
Wait, that's where he went to Grosse Point High School or whatever?
Right, but he was an assassin.
Yeah, I seen that.
He killed the guy with an ink pen right in the hallway. Stabbed him in the throat. Welcome to the... Oh, we got people in the chat. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Oh, shit, I'm not even on there.
I'm on YouTube, and I don't see a link. I just see a bunch of hashtags. Hey, Scott.
Hashtags are for real, dog.
Those are some shitty hashtags. I haven't did my good one yet. Let's see. I don't know. I got nothing. Not one this week. No! Lauren, don't spoil it for Eric. Don't worry what he's talking about. Oh, hold on. I'm going to see if I can't track down Armand.
Are you talking about Mr. Kachigian?
Hey, we're ready when you are.
Can you guys hear me all right? I just want to make sure Everett did the tech shit properly this week because he's been known to fuck everything over too. It actually took him a while to get it going today. Let the midnight special.
Hey, there I am.
Shine a light on me.
Watching To Catch a Predator.
I fucking love that show.
Yeah. Oh, man, isn't it great? Like the one where they caught the rat.
What are you doing here?
Why don't you have a seat right here? No, sit down.
How old did she tell you she was? 18?
36?
Try again.
Yeah, try again.
16?
We've got the manuscript.
We've got the transcript right here.
So it says that you wanted
13.
to lick her butthole while you were.
Did you bring the Mike's Hard Lemonade?
Yeah. What's in the bag? Condoms and
Mike's
malt
Hard
liquor,
Lemonade.
You know?
And a rope.
And a rope. Yeah, you got lime and a shovel in your trunk. What the fuck?
Like the ones that get naked.
Thank you, Seasider. My sound is great. Does that mean you like my voice, or what's that mean?
Was it Dave Chappelle where there was a skit where he was on To Catch a Predator? He was stoked about it. He's like, "You here for the gangbang too?"
No, what was that?
Was it Key and Peele? Maybe, I don't know. It was one of those shows.
I don't think it was Dave Chappelle.
I don't know. It was funny. Maybe somebody in the chat, I don't know. Tell him Large Marge.
Great
sent you.
show,
That's
isn't
from,
it? I love that
Pee-wee.
show.
Pee Wee Herman, yeah.
What show? Chappelle Show?
No, well, that's good too, but To Catch a Predator.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Meet Rocket 8 with us.
It's surprising the amount of active service members and teachers.
Catch a lot of them.
You know what I mean? That are active, that are
And
in
clergy.
I like the doctor they got. You know, call his wife, honey, a little trouble.
We had speaking of doctor, I wanted to ask you, since you are
yes.
a doctor. We had a controversial topic on the group this last week, which was, it's been very prominent in like Facebook over the last couple weeks, but addiction, disease, or not?
Ooh, that's a
That's
a simple question.
Yeah, and everybody's got their opinions on it, so no big deal. You know, there was 160 comments on there, so everyone has an issue.
Well, I think there's a genetic component to it. Yeah,
Okay.
so I mean,
You can
there's
be
definitely
genetically predisposed to addiction.
Yeah, like anything else. I mean, I think it's, I don't know, probably I'm going to say 60% genetic, 40%.
But that does not answer the question.
No. Well, I don't think there is an answer. I don't think there's a yes/no answer to it.
It's part psychosis. It's part.
That's why it's
Would
such a
you
problem.
would you say you have addiction? Would someone have addiction disease? Could you class, or disorder would be a better word? Do you think maybe disorder?
Well, it's a disorder. I think there is a disorder. I think
disorder.
Yeah, I think there is some organic problem there. Yeah, that makes you more prone to addiction. And the thing, that's interesting. The same area of the brain that's like, these people that are addicted to drugs and gambling have the same predisposition to religion.
No shit.
Yeah, that seems to be hypertrophy of the same part of the brain that are, very religious people. So
That makes sense.
I don't know. I'm not saying religion's, I'm not saying that's a pathology.
You can get
either.
addicted to anything, though.
Yeah, that's
you
what I'm
can
saying.
get addicted to religion.
Right.
Religion is the same thing as joining any kind of social club. I mean, you get addicted to the
cult.
Yeah, cult, exactly.
Yeah, it has those elements, yeah. All right, well.
Hang with me here.
Speaking of addictions and perversion, let's talk about Hollywood, huh?
Hollyweird is what we're calling it.
Hollyweird. Okay, so it's not just death, then. We're talking about all kinds of screwy stuff.
Hollyweird Deaths.
Because I got some other stuff, too.
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about.
I mean, that's kind of my specialty is...
Hollywood?
How long have we been on?
Aberrant behavior in Hollywood.
8 minutes, right on.
Yeah, I'm almost ready here.
All right, made it, Javi. Got a new long
See that? Seasider wants me to do a Seth Rogen impersonation. I wouldn't even know how to go about doing a Seth Rogen impersonation.
Wow. You get requests like that, huh?
I was like, no, I don't know.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know. I got it. Is this a cross joint? I got nothing. How do you do a Seth Rogen?
I don't know. He did, but he did a Sausage Party, right? Wasn't that him?
Yeah, him and Evan Goldberg. Yeah,
that's a funny movie.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I like the ending.
Boy, if
have you seen Sausage Party?
I don't think I have.
If you
should
read the
at least
script,
watch the ending.
it's even wilder than that, if possible.
It ends with the most perverse food orgy you've ever seen.
Yeah, it gets a little out of hand there.
Way out of hand.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's something.
All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes and we'll go live.
What'd you guys do last week? Just
had some callers and stuff.
Oh, okay.
That reminds me. God damn it.
And addiction came up?
No, that was in the group.
That was in the group. That was a popular one, though.
In my shitty record keeping and whatnot last week, I was putting together a list of callers for the show.
Asshole.
And I overlooked a caller who wanted to call in and talk about some supernatural stuff. She's a listener from over in Ireland. Oh. And I'm going to screw her name all up, but it looks like Aiblinn Cahill. It's Aibhlinn Cahill. Yeah, sorry about that. I'd like to say it happens. It shouldn't happen, but, you know, every now and then I forget shit. She messaged me directly in my regular messenger and not my in the show, blah, blah, blah. I can give excuses all day long. I'm sorry. We'll get to you next time or today if you're in chat.
She should have motherfucked you.
She could have. I mean,
what happened? What did you do?
She wanted to call into the show last week. We had an open call in, and I passed her over on accident.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
dick move.
Yeah, especially to our Irish friends.
Yep.
From across the pond. Show a little more
across the pond
deference to our overseas, well, your overseas fans.
They love you. I put you in our in the description for today's episode as fan favorite and fan least favorite, Armand Kachigian.
Yeah, I've been both ends of the spectrum.
But you know what? We've actually had people request, like,
great.
Armand, get that Armand guy back on there.
Yeah, well, I don't think I've been requesting an Ocho Man lately because nobody seems to miss me on that show.
Yeah, they got their thing going on.
Yeah, I know it.
I liked it. Hell, I used to be on the Ocho
Man
show.
I was going to ask you, have you been on there too?
Dude,
yeah.
Remember I had like a 3-month stint on that show.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You don't remember that?
Before me? I mean, I remember you know,
before,
occasionally.
Sarah. It was before Sarah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
after
me,
Chris.
Todd. Yeah. Me, Todd, you.
That's right. Yeah. I think I'd rather listen to those archive shows than these new ones. But that's my opinion.
Seasider found us from the Simulation Podcast.
Yeah.
We did a
Everett had a good day
2 weeks ago, and I almost had a stroke during the show. Pretty much, I could not keep a thought for more than a sentence and a half. He'd be talking, and I'd forget what he was saying. Like, it was a way off day.
Man, we got to take a CAT scan.
It was a glitch in my matrix that day. It was weird.
Right, yeah.
But we're gonna redo that show someday.
Have we decided whether we are just a computer simulation anyway? Everybody?
I decided it don't really matter.
Really? Well, I guess not. But do you think we are? Is Musk right?
I don't think Musk is right. Well, he was borrowing the theory from another person anyway.
Okay, that's not his theory then.
No, he every time if you watch any interviews, I forget the guy's name. I had it last week. That's a week ago.
What do you think about the singularity? You know, Ray Kurzweil. You ever read about that?
Nope.
Where man and computer merge. You basically like around 2045, 2050. He calls it the singularity.
Huh. No, I mean that's the way I've always figured how immortality, at least at first, is going to be.
That's what he claims.
Right.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think we'll get to near biologic immortality, but.
Yeah, but I don't think we need it then, right? I mean, because if your consciousness, because basically, what is all this stuff? Our existence is basically our brain.
What is reality?
Yeah, right.
Our perception thereof.
Right, I think you're still alive.
I was telling Eric, whenever we redo simulation, I want to wrap it in with reality, throw in time travel, multiverse, everything.
Big redux.
Oh, jeez.
Just what is life?
That might take an hour and a half instead of an
hour.
It
might take 4
huh?
shows, like 4 weeks worth of shows, but it could be fun.
We'll have Neil Tyson LaGrosse on here.
No,
I hate that guy.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, really? I hate
Everett
that prick.
Me too, man. He's so self-important.
Oh, global warming.
Worse than me.
Sure. Did you see what Hawking said about what that guy's gone? Man.
Who, Hawking?
Yeah, he said the tipping point's already been reached. We're gonna end up like Venus.
Yeah, he wants us off this planet fast, and he's really.
I would too if I was in his condition. I want everybody dead.
And he's really on the fence about contacting any kind of extraterrestrials, for the simple fact that every time on our planet, his reasoning was every time an advanced civilization on our planet contacts a less advanced civilization, we enslave it.
That's what. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. He's really worried about that.
Yeah, I mean he's not wrong. Yeah. All right, we better start the show. We're losing fucking viewers as the.
Or people hear this stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, we're live right now, buddy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was just
us.
Let's
fix your camera up there.
Yeah. Turn it around. People don't want to see me.
Oh, they love you. They love you.
Well, anybody, I appreciate that.
All right, I'm gonna fire it up. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Come on. What is the problem?
I hear no music.
Yeah, I know what I did wrong. Don't you leave me alone.
Where's that?
Every week I fuck it up a little,
intro.
okay? Yeah, we'll have the intro in a minute, you guys. Jesus, I'm horrible. You just let it go. Let it go. Like that Frozen song. Okay, let's try this again. You guys ready?
Ready.
Ready when thou art.
Check.
2. Check. 3.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
Evan, are we supposed to talk through this?
You can, I wouldn't.
Something's not right, man. Something's not right. Something's bullshit here, and I don't believe it. true.
That's a good quote.
Honestly, this crazy shit could be completely possible.
Disclaimer, we reserve the right to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. You think you know the whole story? Think again.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
I wish we had a good theme like that, Tony and I.
Why don't you make one?
I don't know. Brian gave some stupid jazz riff. It's horrible. Dumbass.
Well, we are back. Welcome to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal. LineUpMedia.fm production. And we are here once again on a beautiful Saturday, bringing you all quality podcasts.
Oh, I don't know about quality. And you're wearing these glasses. For those who can't see us on the podcast, Eric found a pair of glasses on the desk in the studio here and has just decided to put them on and wear them during the show.
They don't belong to me.
They're not even prescriptionized?
I don't know.
They're slight.
They don't belong
real
to me,
slight
though.
magnification. But for whatever
Half
reason,
a diopter.
he thinks he's smarter when he wears them.
Yeah, I feel like I got a better...
It does lend him an intellectual mean.
Yeah.
M-I-E-N.
Sure.
I think maybe more people will take me seriously if I have glasses
Not a
on.
mean intellect.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this week we're talking about Hollyweird Deaths.
Yeah,
is what
something
I'm
near
calling
and
it.
dear to I lived there. I loved it.
So, as everybody knows, the weirdest shit happens to people who live in Hollywood. You never know if they're going to fall off a building or get shot by their wife or who knows, suicide themselves or get suicided.
Yeah, Gig Young, remember him?
No.
Oh yeah, he Academy Award winner.
Let's jump right into it.
Yeah,
Who's
right.
Gig Young?
1969, he won the Academy Award for They Shoot Horses, Don't They?
Never saw
great
it.
actor. He was in about 25 years. He was a contract player at MGM,
Sure.
and like I said, he won the Academy Award. He was Porthos in The Three Musketeers, 1948, with Gene Kelly. Great actor. Lost his marbles one day and blew his wife away and himself.
Oh, fuck.
You'll have that
in
a
that
lot.
order. Yeah.
You'll have that a lot in Hollywood.
Yeah. So what was the other guy? Well, Hartman. Right.
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman. I didn't really.
Dude, his story's crazy how that whole thing went down. She thought he was cheating.
Hartman.
Phil Hartman from
Frasier?
Yeah, funny guy.
Frasier. That's
No,
fucking Kelsey Grammer. He was in The Simpsons. Hi, I'm Troy McClure. He was
Yeah.
also in News Radio.
Wasn't he a Saturday Night Live regular?
Yeah, Saturday Night Live guy.
Funny guy.
He blew his wife
Beautiful.
away and
No, his wife shot him. She thought he was having an affair.
That's right. The wife killed him. That's
She
right.
come in and shot him 3 times, right? And took the kids out, and I guess she was in a daze or whatever, and the neighbor or family member or something came back over. Well, she locked herself in the room with the corpse and whatnot, and then shot herself while everybody was there.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Killed herself, killed him and herself.
Killed him and herself.
They both died.
Wow.
Right. How about Ramon Navarro? See, I got a lot of silent film guys that you probably never heard of.
No, I love these old ones.
Yeah, Ben-Hur, the old 1925
yeah.
version of Ben-Hur. He was Ben-Hur in the silent version. Mexican guy, real good looking, matinee idol, but he was one of our LGBT friends. Nothing wrong with that. So
Forgot
anyway,
the Q.
Q and
they added the Q.
and
There's probably 4 or 5 more letters now. I don't know.
yeah, what is Q? Questioning, right?
Queer.
Queer.
I thought.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
queer?
Yeah.
I thought that was.
I think they just went straight. We're taking queer back.
Yeah,
Brian told me it was questioning.
I actually
It
read a
could
thread
be.
on this the other day. Here's a little. I
don't
actually
know.
read
He
a
ought to
thread on
know.
this the other day because people were confused about the word
Ouch.
Q. But queer is like a coverage of all, from what I understand. So you got
It's
like
kind of redundant.
lesbian,
Who
bi-
find themselves to be
No,
slightly
it is-
off of whatever society's.
It
is the
it
norm
just
or something.
covers whatever, anything off.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't find it
Queer,
off.
you know.
Well, anyway, Ramon Navarro was, I'd say he was G.
Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah.
He's the G.
Yeah. So his career was long over, and it's like 1968 or 69, and he's got this beautiful house in North Hollywood, and everything's
Is
great.
that the nice part of Hollywood?
At that time, it was a lot better. Laurel Canyon was on Laurel Canyon up in the hills. So, it's still nice. And he used to invite, it's pretty well known that he invites some hustlers over, I think that's the word I'm looking for.
I don't know. What's a hustler?
Young prostitutes.
We're not afraid of any word.
Male prostitutes.
Yeah, sure. Gigolos.
2 brothers, 17 and 22, come over, and things are getting
17,
friendly.
22.
Everybody's getting naked. Everything's proceeding as planned. And they said, hey.
Sounds like my Friday night. No, not
really?
A couple of 17,
Are you
22-year-old.
So
You just implicated yourself in
Yeah.
like molesting a kid.
that was a joke.
yeah, 17's right.
That's illegal, pal. That's assault, brother.
Some states.
Yeah, I think it's legal some places.
Not this one.
Anyway, they said, hey, where's the $5,000? And he said, what are you talking about? So, we know you've got $5,000 in this house. No, I don't.
That reminds me of you ever seen the movie Boogie Nights?
Yeah.
Where do they go in and rob that drug dealer?
Right. Well, that was John Holmes. That actually happened too. Yeah.
So was that
that was based on truth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He had to beat that guy in the head with that pipe.
Yeah. He went up for manslaughter, or he tried.
See, that's
for
one thing I didn't know nothing about is the Winterland murders. How much you know about that?
I just watched the movie. But
did you?
That's so good. Yeah,
Give me
that
some
was
info.
A good movie. Well, it was John.
It was Val
Holmes.
Kilmer, right?
Yeah, and he got into obviously doing a bunch of drugs with this one group of people, and he was
what
like
kind of drugs? Just wondering.
Well, they were like heroin, cocaine, shit like that.
Speedballs.
Yeah. But so like he was the guy that went to the main dealer to get him for this whole house of people.
John was like, that big dick bastard over there to get the heroin.
Yeah, right.
So, well, these people are like jonesing real bad, and they're like, and he's like in the movie they make him out to be like a weasel. He's kind of like a cheese dick, No, the guys they're like they'll threaten him and shit. He's not at all aggressive and scary. They're like he's like a bitch to them.
Yeah, a little diffident.
Yeah. And so, everything's real dry or whatever, and he's like, well, I can get it up there on Winterland, wherever it's at. That's what it's about, because he's like, I can get it up on Winterland, and they're like, well, we don't got no money, we'll rob them and shit. And he's like, I'm not doing that. Well, they end up talking him into it, and he tells them exactly what to do. John goes over there to the house, buys something.
He's the inside man.
Allegedly unlocks the back door for these group of people to come in and rob, what was his name? Something Nash is what the guy's name in the movie was. Wow. And anyway, so they rob him, and, he ends up telling them, Val did it. Not Val. John Holmes was the one that let us in and shit, so... He goes back over there. John Holmes goes back over to the guy that robbed, Eddie Nash or whatever. They get him together, make him tell him who talked. They got him all tied up and shit. They go back over and they make John Holmes kill the one guy by beating him in the head with a lead pipe. Since he gave the information, they make him do the murder. But it's like he went to his baby mama's house to get cleaned up, and she wouldn't testify, and I think he got off.
I think he did. He did get off, yeah.
I think he got off.
He eventually died of AIDS.
The movie implies that he for sure did that, though. The movie implies.
Right. I'm not
but if
sure
he was under,
that's really true.
Under either I kill you or you kill them. It's like in the movie Seven.
Under duress.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I know.
Yeah. That's pretty
well,
much
these guys, just beat him to death because he didn't have the money. And now, this isn't substantiated, but Kenneth Anger in his book Hollywood Babylon, he claimed that they shoved a dildo down his throat and choked him to death. But from what I've read, he just choked in his own blood. So anyway, that was Ramon Navarro's unhappy ending in Hollywood. I think those kids are still alive. I'm not sure if they're still in jail. Maybe.
Probably should be.
Yeah.
Killing people, though.
Yeah. So that was back in '68, I think.
What about Marilyn Monroe?
Well, I knew we'd get around to her.
She's from what I understand, it was just an OD, but
Seconal. I think she.
So where's
or Nembutal?
It was a
barbiturate conspiracy here?
Well, the conspiracy. Well, a lot of people think there's a few schools of thought. The CIA took her out. It's almost a message to the Kennedys.
Yeah, well, they were still pissed off about the Bay of Pigs.
Apparently, they eventually killed Kennedy.
Let me stop you there. So she died before Kennedy was assassinated.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know the
August
timeline here.
5th, 62, I believe, was the date.
Okay.
Because I read Norman Mailer's book.
Sure.
And he had a lot of conspiracy theories about it, but,
Did JFK ever come out and say anything publicly about her death?
Well, no, he can't be like, I was fucking Marilyn Monroe, and I'm upset about it.
Well, the real problem wasn't JFK, because I think she was really in love with Robert.
RFK.
Yeah,
so, here's the deal.
She was going to expose that.
Was there any proof that any of this had happened? Like,
no,
that they fucked around or whatever? So
he said, she said.
So where'd the whole... Happy birthday. Did she really
sing him? That was at the birthday party.
I think it's acknowledged that they did have sex, but he had sex with everybody.
Right.
I mean, he had sex with
JFK was a player.
Bend over.
Yeah. Judith Campbell Exner. Remember, speaking of which, we're all Star Trek fans.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Trelane?
Sure.
Yeah, his wife. That was JFK was screwing his wife. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sure. Well, his real wife. William Campbell's his name. His wife's name is Judith Exner Campbell. Judith Campbell Exner. And Angie Dickinson. Policewoman? Policewoman? You don't know? Oh, wow, he is young. Jeez, Angie Dickinson, and among others. But apparently what I've read, or at least Mailer was saying, that she was going to expose Robert Kennedy because she wanted him to leave his wife and the whole thing. Nah, I don't know. Now, apparently, though, when they did see, because if she took all this, if you take it supposedly all at once, like 80 pills.
Which is what they said she did. She took it in one gulp or two gulps.
Right.
Just gulp.
But apparently there weren't that many. There's some sort of residue in your stomach when you do that, and that wasn't exactly what happened. So she just kept probably taking them. Same thing with Judy Garland, apparently. Yeah. They didn't really, but there was no note, although apparently only 40% of suicides
That's
have
exactly
notes.
what I read, too, is only 40% of suicides leave a note, so it's not that big a deal.
That's odd.
Well, you know about Judy Garland, who was, of course, Dorothy from Wizard of Oz.
Right.
She was a tortured soul.
Really?
Yeah, the beginning of the end did the Wizard of Oz. She was 16. She was a very ugly one. If you see some pictures of her as a kid, the Gum sisters.
Oh, I thought she was an attractive young woman.
Oh, my. She had a prosthetic nose.
There you go again, 16
teeth.
at the time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I.
She had a great voice.
I better shut up, man. Let's start something.
We've already caught a predator here.
Right, no shit.
I'm Chris Hansen.
What are you doing here?
This is where the camera crew comes in, right? I just want to tell him it's all right to be gay. So, yeah, anyway, they put her, Louis B. Mayer, he had like spies on her and made sure she couldn't like eat Sundays and stuff, and put her on this like coffee diet, and she and Mickey Rooney, same thing with all these child actors, because they only have so much time when they're cute, and then they get old, and that's it. So they really work the hell out of them. So they'd let them sleep like 4 hours. They'd give them a sleeping tablet, knock them out, and then they wake them up with amphetamines, put them to bed with barbiturates. They did it with Mickey Rooney too.
That's crazy.
And she's like drinking 80. Just pumped her full of black coffee, 80 cigarettes a day, and she was really, really screwed up.
That sounds like the Korean pop stars. So like whenever they get groomed, like they go to a school to become like these pop stars, and when they sign like a shitty lifelong contract with a record company where they control everything.
Is it similar to Scientology, like a billion-year contract?
Well, no, it's not like that, but they control everything from like who you can date, your love life, to like what you eat, because they want to max out your potential for as long as they can squeeze money out of you.
Sure, well that's pretty much the way it was in the 30s. That was a studio system. When Louis B. Mayer said, in fact, she got married and had a kid, and you're the girl next door. You can't. I don't think she was married. Got to have an abortion.
Yeah, they control.
Stuff like
studios
that.
were fucking assholes.
They
back
control
in the
your
day.
love life and shit.
And there was nobody who got screwed over more than the Three Stooges, in my opinion.
I'm glad you brought them up. Ted Healy. That's one of my big stories today. Have you heard of Ted Healy?
No.
Oh, you guys haven't heard this
story? I know Jfk Healy.
See the Light. That was a good album. He was the blind guitar
No relation. Well, the guy that discovered and put them together and everything was Ted Healy.
Sure.
And kind of screwed him over because he was like, it was Ted Healy and his Stooges. And they went to MGM together and everything, and he got them parts, and he paid them crap. And they eventually, walked away. Yeah, they went to Columbia, and he hung around. He still made some movies. Well, fast forward to December 21st, I believe it was 1937. And he's
80 years ago.
Yeah, well, 80 years ago, almost. Yeah, exactly. He goes to the Trocadero because he was an older guy. He had just had his first kid. And he's like, oh, wow, this is great. And he's kind of a boozer. He goes in the bar and has some drinking. Well, guess who's there? Wallace Beery, the original big actor, one of MGM's biggest actors at the time. Cubby Broccoli. You know this guy?
No,
no
him. Clue.
Yeah, he's the producer of all the James Bond movies.
Cubby Broccoli.
Broccoli and Saltzman. These are guys that produced all the James Bond movies.
I should know that. I should know that.
Yeah.
Like, how'd that get past me? Like, I should know. Ian Fleming, I should know that.
Cubby Broccoli's, and then Cubby Broccoli's cousin, Pat DiCiccio, right?
Sure.
Who's kind of a gangster, one of Lucky Luciano's boys, and we'll come up with him in another story.
Right.
Anyway, apparently Healy said something to somebody that they didn't like. I think it was Wallace Beery. And he said, hey, screw you, step outside. Beery's a pretty big guy. They walk outside. Well, DiCiccio and Broccoli are waiting. They beat him to death, literally. Beat him to death in the parking lot.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, he's dead. So they got Louis B. Mayer and Eddie Mannix, who we're going to talk about at length, one of the fixers, Strickling and Mannix, the two fixers at MGM. These are guys that cover up all this shit.
Sure.
Get right on it.
I didn't know they had a cover-up crew.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's called a fixer.
Yeah, the fixers.
Hillary's got some of those, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, these guys, MGM had their own little...
Scientology.
Yeah, their old... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's nothing new.
No.
So anyway, they sent Wallace Beery on a goodwill tour for a couple months, got him out of town, and they said, well, it was boozing. He was boozing, and some college boys beat him up, and it was his heart.
Oh,
the
it's
corner.
always the heart.
Yeah, so that was, they beat him to death.
That's
Ted Healy.
Crazy.
So what happened to the Stooges after he died?
They were already, they're already making shorts. This is 1937, so they've been making shorts since 32 or 34 Woman Haters.
Which is their way better stuff than the movies.
Oh, yeah. But it's pretty fun. I mean, they got some funny stuff at MGM with Healy. They're in a movie with Clark Gable
I
and
honestly
some other ones.
don't know any of their pre-Columbia stuff.
Yeah, they made some pretty funny stuff at MGM. Full-length stuff, although they're just like comic relief. They're not, you know.
I own all 19 seasons of their shorts.
I think, 190? 190 of them,
something like that. Yeah, it's a shit ton of them.
It's a beautiful show. I love the Three Stooges.
Kids these days have no clue who the Stooges are or what they were.
You're kidding, really? Woman haters to sappy bullfighters.
Yeah, I don't know what all the episode names, but I could describe 150 of them probably.
It's the only slapstick comedy other than like Jim Carrey that's actually funny. It's funny. You know
Pretty much.
I mean? Slapstick comedy's not very funny, but Jim Carrey's good. Don't get me wrong.
They were coming in a weird time right out of the silent stuff, exactly, which was all like slapstick.
They're vaudeville guys too. Right. This is all. Now speaking of DiCiccio, now and slapstick. You guys I'm sure you guys never heard of Thelma Todd.
No, man.
This gal was like kind of the Madonna of her day. She's a beautiful blonde. They're trying to make a comedian out of her, and she's actually pretty funny, but she had a foul mouth, and everybody loved her. She's married to DiCiccio, and he beat her up, and she got a divorce, and she opened up her own restaurant. So it was called, I think it was Thelma's Sidewalk Cafe out in Malibu. And anyway, DiCiccio's good friends with Lucky Luciano. And
gangster
Lucky,
from what? Atlantic City or New York?
New York,
Yeah.
In fact, he was deported, you know. And
back to Italy?
Yeah, Sicily. And in fact, he helped the Allies. In World War II, they made a deal with him. You know, we might bring you back if you help us because you got all your buddies.
Did we bring him back?
Sicily. No. He got as close to Havana. Yeah. That was about as close as
he was a big deal in Prohibition.
Make a deal with America, we'll fuck you over. It's all good.
Yeah, right. They promise anything. Anyway, so she goes home from the restaurant one day and falls asleep in her car in the garage, dies of carbon monoxide poisoning. That's the official story. She had a couple broken ribs. Her nose was broken.
When you're gasping real hard and carbon monoxide.
She was knocked the fuck out in that car.
Well, the thing was, look, he said, hey, I like your restaurant. I want to get some gambling in here, which is not legal. And she said, screw you. May have called him, you know, probably a derogatory term for an Italian.
I almost went to town on that.
What is the derogatory term for?
Oh, fuck it, like a wop.
That's
guinea,
Dago.
Guinea. I didn't think Dago. Yeah, I didn't think about those.
Yeah, let's get real racist.
Yeah,
I didn't think about.
Yeah,
anyway.
Pasta pud.
Okay.
So anyway, so yeah, there's plenty of them.
Pasta pud. Let's go back there.
That's an old one.
I like that. Wow.
So anyway, they think that he may have bumped her off. So that was the end of Thelma. You guys watch the Marx Brothers? Have you guys seen the Marx Brothers?
No.
She was in Horse Feathers and Monkey Business. She was with Laurel and Hardy in a couple movies, and very funny woman.
Nothing to do with Abbott and Costello, though?
I don't think she made any with Abbott and Costello, no. A little before their time. They weren't big till like 39, 40.
Yeah, I only saw a little bit of them, too.
Yeah.
Africa Scream.
Let's head back up to something after we were born.
See, more silent
He's
film
schooling
stuff.
the son. Oh, you mean like Anna Nicole Smith?
I was thinking exactly like Anna Nicole Smith.
You tell me.
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about her except, you know,
her death was weird. She overdosed. That's what they ruled as a suicide, more or less.
Yeah, prescription drug overdose.
But what was weird is how poorly her death was handled. So, at like
the investigation,
somebody had found her. Well, no. Like the actual day she died, like how getting her to the hospital and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
So, from memory, it's hard to. I should have written this down a little bit better. But somebody found her body, and at like 1 o'clock, a nurse had arrived, like a private nurse, and said, "Call 911, get an ambulance here," and she began CPR. It was over an hour later before the ambulance got there, and she was pronounced at the scene, basically.
Yeah, she was probably dead already.
Right. And a lot of people shit on her attorney at the time, Howard K. Stern, he was actually charged with enabling her dependency on drugs, like to keep her, you know, doped up all
the attorney?
Like,
I mean, he's just a doctor, that, you know.
Contact the doctors, make sure she can get the drugs. You know, he's just enabling her. She wants to be on the drugs. She's a doper.
Well, right, yeah, no, I get that.
So he's making sure she can stay on the drugs, so she can make her appearances and get her money for whatever she's had. What was Marshall? What was her husband's name?
Yeah, I was just trying to think of that guy's name.
Howard Marshall or something.
Yeah,
like
right.
He's a billionaire.
Right. Yeah,
what
like
drug did she overdose on?
You know, let me look real quick. I got this up in another.
I thought it was methadone and alcohol and Xanax. I thought.
Yeah, it was a bunch of weird fucking names like the end in all or something like that.
Yeah, they all do.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you see they did the toxicology report on Carrie Fisher? She was pretty loaded up too.
Yeah.
Heroin,
she'll always
cocaine,
be a princess in my eyes.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah,
she could be a heroin and a cocaine.
Well, you guys had this discussion about addiction. I mean,
yeah.
You know, because it's an access to it too. I mean, it's not.
She had gone pretty far deep into addiction and stuff in the late '80s, didn't she?
I guess so. Yeah, this was nothing new.
Who was her mom?
Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds. That's right. Yeah.
And Eddie Fisher.
And she just died recently before Carrie Fisher, right?
Well, she died 2 days later, I believe.
Was that
right
2
after?
days later?
Yeah,
I think she was starting to have to deal with it, and then she died, yeah.
Right. I just couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah, she just couldn't handle it, apparently.
But another weird thing about Anna Nicole Smith, 6 months after she died, her son Daniel dies in almost the same way.
I saw that. Yeah, he OD'd too, didn't he?
He was like a 16, 18-year-old kid. Like, just...
Was there a delay
hers
in that?
was, here, I have it right here. Hold on. Chloral hydrate. She took
that's what you do with the kiddies. That's what we used to do.
Hydrate?
Chloral hydrate's an anesthetic. I mean, it's that's how you knock out. You ever heard of Mickey Finn?
No.
Yeah, that's how the bartenders used to knock guys out and take them out and drag them out and Shanghai them, and it's been around forever. But we
put
actually
it in your drink, or is it
yeah,
like an inhaler?
you put it in a beer. Yeah, the Mickey Finn.
Huh. No,
yeah, have you ever said has Mickey Finn been in today?
So it's more or less just a downer.
It's knocks you out. It's anesthetic. But we give it to kids because apparently the kids, it's real short acting and it really knocks you out quick. So when you have an unruly child, get the CH, out they go.
Really?
Yeah. The 40s, parents used to use it all the time because I think it was over the counter.
It was legal at the time.
Are your kids a little the kids are a little unruly? Give them a chlorohydrate. That'll
dope your fucking kid up.
Yeah, then you can have fun. And I'm sure it was very popular in Hollywood.
That was the solution to ADHD or ADD back then.
Oh yeah, right.
Dope your kid up.
Out you go.
We were talking about this next one before the show, and Eric didn't know who he was really and how he died. Vic Morrow.
Oh, Vic Morrow, sure, yeah.
So Vic Morrow dies during the filming of the movie.
Him and two Asian
children,
kids,
in the filming of Twilight Zone. I don't even think that scene, like any of the Vietnam shit, made it to the movie.
I don't think so. I think they cut all that out.
So they were doing another thing where he'd travel through time. You know his scene, right? He went back to the Nazi Germany. He went back to the old South where he was, being treated like he was
like a KKK slave time. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was it. It wasn't slave. It was
like KKK, right?
They were just
like
very
40s, 50s, whatever.
Right, yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah, you know how it goes.
They were going to kill his ass.
Another one, he went to Vietnam.
Which one was it? Oh, that was the swamp one, right? Where he crawled through the water.
That was with the KKK. That was that one.
Oh, was that one?
They didn't show the Vietnam one, but what had happened, something happened to the helicopter was flying by in the Vietnam scene. He's running by with these little Asian kids. The helicopter dies and lands right the fuck on him.
I think it killed the pilot, too. I think the pilot got killed, too.
Yeah, it exploded,
Oh, snap.
They had it on film and everything.
Yeah.
Think about it. They're filming a fucking movie. That's their star running across the field.
Right. It's on film.
Yep.
Can you imagine being the director of that segment? Have to deal with that?
Man.
How about Brandon Lee?
Brandon Lee's is a crazy one, too. What was he filming at the time? It wasn't The Crow.
Yeah, it was The
Crow. Was it The Crow? Or?
It was The Crow.
Was it?
It was the very No, it was Rapid Fire.
Rapid Fire,
okay,
I thought.
Yeah,
let's find out real quick.
No, I
Brandon
Who puts a live round in a pistol, man?
They were all supposed to be
That's the
blends.
thing, yeah. It was during the set of The Crow. I remember now. So whenever he jumped up on the table.
On the table, and there was people all around him. He was supposed to take the bullets. And he took some.
Now, Bruce Lee. Now, this is interesting because I read a guy, you know me, and I always get in his, martial arts shit. So I see this stuff. They're always advertised. If I just bought some today, I'm going to kick your ass. But anyway, this one guy's talking how I killed Bruce Lee with the death touch.
Really?
Oh, yeah. 5-finger exploding heart palm technique.
Whatever it was, he just goes like that, and that's how I killed Bruce Lee. He swears that's what he did.
Sure.
Now, I think he was drugs too, though. He was taking a lot of medicine.
Bruce Lee. What I had heard is he died officially, I guess, from an allergic reaction to like a headache medicine.
Yeah.
But his girlfriend gave him a hell of a lot of it.
That's
his wife.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Put him to bed or whatever. He never woke up. Same thing kind of happened to Lupe Velez, the Mexican Spitfire.
Don't know it.
Yeah, she was carrying Gary Cooper's baby, and he told her to get an abortion. She said, "Nah, I wouldn't do that." So she killed herself.
Oh, he suicided her.
Yeah, second all. Yeah. So that was the end of her. Who else we talked? Oh, Carole Lombard. It's kind of, not Carole Lombard. Carole Lombard died in a plane crash. She was actually ruled the first civilian casualty of the Second World War.
Really?
She was going on a bond tour like December of 1941.
Right, on war bonds and whatnot?
Yeah, and she, pilot, I guess he wasn't watching or whatever, ran into a mountain, blew her up.
Oh, yeah.
Blowed her up real good.
D.B. Coopered her.
So that was the end of them. That was in 41.
Did you follow the Phil Spector and Lana Clarkson murder much at all?
No, did they ever? That dragged on for years, didn't it?
Yeah. They found him guilty of murdering her, like a second-degree murder.
Right.
He got 19 years to life in prison.
He's dead, right? He died, didn't he?
Did he die? Fuck, I don't know.
I don't think he's still around.
I think he's in prison, honestly. Hey, look here.
How about
David Carradine?
He's still alive, man. He's still alive.
Is he? Is he in jail?
Yeah, he's in jail. But what had happened? She was at his mansion, right? He gets home. He was working at House of Blues. He gets home. He goes inside, tells his driver to wait out in the car. About an hour later, he's been in the house an hour later. The driver hears a gunshot before Spector comes out the back door with a gun, and he's quoted into saying, "I think I just shot her."
That's pretty incriminating.
Yeah, but later, Spector said her death was an accidental suicide, that she kissed the gun.
Aha.
So who knows exactly what went down there? But eventually, yeah, he got found guilty of second-degree murder, killing her. So who knows what the story was? Maybe she was like fucking around with the gun, and he shot her.
But this isn't the first time this guy's been involved in some of this shit, right? Didn't somebody else die around him?
I don't know.
I thought he had some kind of history of this stuff.
He's kind of a piece of shit in that way.
How about Robert Blake?
Yeah, what do you know about all of Robert Blake? Who did he kill? His wife?
His wife, apparently. I don't know.
He was Beretta. I don't really watch that show a few times.
We should start saying allegedly.
Yeah, well, he got away with it. I guess he didn't. He got away with it.
Yeah.
Mickey Gubitosi on Our Gang. He was one of the little rascals. He was always like crying because he didn't have a dad.
Which TV show?
Mickey. Yeah, he's wearing like he's always one crying because he didn't have a dad. In the later ones with Spanky and all that.
Yeah,
that's pretty fucking shit.
Yeah, Mickey Gubitosi.
What about Jimi Hendrix? You guys know much about how he died?
No.
Well, the bathtub sandwich, right? No?
Yeah, well, he supposedly he died.
That's Mama Cass.
Choking. Yeah, that's Mama Cass.
That's right. But they were all 27, right?
Right. Part of the 27 Club, which is a weird thing, too. I didn't even think to look up for this. But
Janis Joplin, Kurt Cobain.
He apparently died choking on his own vomit when he was high. I mean, you'll have that.
Was it in a bathtub, though? Wasn't he in a bathtub?
That was Jim Morrison.
Oh, really?
Jim Morrison died in the bathtub, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
But one of his roadies, James Tappy Wright, claims that Hendrix was actually killed by his manager, Mike Jeffrey. The guy claims he waterboarded him basically to death with wine. Just glug, glug, glug until he died. That's what the guy says.
Was he trying to extract information or
just
torture?
What was that all about?
Beats the shit out of me. He's probably pissed about money. Why does anybody kill anybody?
Yeah, usually. Well, that's what. Selena, right? Didn't she get killed by her her
fan club president?
Yeah, for no reason apparently. I wasn't had any money about it.
Bitch was Psycho. That was a good movie though.
Yeah.
Had Edward James Olmos.
Sam Cooke, same thing. He got killed. I've seen the hotel.
Sun Records, or was it?
Yeah, well, the singer Sam.
Sam Cooke.
Dock of the Bay. Didn't he
that was Otis Redding. Sam Cooke did.
Well, what he had one.
Don't know much about history.
Yeah, he was staying in a hotel in Anaheim, and the manager, I guess he got out of line or something. The manager shot him, killed him.
You'll have that. Marvin Gaye's another one that's kind of in that.
His dad.
What happened to Marvin Gaye?
His dad killed him.
Yeah, his own fucking dad shot him, killed him. Apparently Marvin was getting a little out of line, and
is that what it was?
They got into an argument, and the dad shot him.
Now Marvin Gaye's version of
he wrote it.
Yeah, it's way better than CCR.
I don't know about that. I heard it through the grapevine.
Yeah, I heard it through the grapevine. Oh, I love it.
Have you ever heard it? You can get it on YouTube, a track of him singing "Heard It Through the Grapevine" without the instrumental.
No,
it's just his voice. It's pretty fucking good, actually.
No, yeah, well, that's what I said. You can like feel him when he sings it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But he was shot by his own dad.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy. He was getting out of line, drunk, unruly, I guess.
Pretty much.
Now, what about David Carradine? I thought this one was an interesting one, and I didn't know much about it until
a friend of mine went to
his.
He was
in Thailand when he died.
Yeah, a friend of mine went to his funeral.
Really?
Yeah, she had they had a little thing about they gave him a pamphlet or whatever.
He was Kane in the Kung Fu movies, show rather, and movie.
Yeah.
I used to watch that on reruns on TNT back in the day. But he was also, more importantly, in recent times, Bill in the Kill Bill movies. Have you seen Kill Bill?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I saw the first one.
Oh, watch them both.
Yeah, they're real good.
Really?
I thought those were Quentin Tarantino's best movies.
I think he actually won an Academy Award for the song. He wrote the song to Nashville, the movie Nashville. Yeah, he's a songwriter too. Yeah. Talented guy.
David Carradine was found in a Bangkok hotel room hanging by a drapery cord.
Erotic asphyxiation, right?
With a cord around his neck and his genitals. I didn't know that was part of it, but
he was
going for
a
record.
Had a double.
I guess does that do?
I don't know what that would do.
Does that help?
Around your genitals?
You're looking at me.
I don't want to get too deep into it. I don't know. I just don't know.
No.
I tie cords around my patients' ankles. Dr. Feelgood, but
there goes all of your.
No, I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed
his
to
wife.
do.
His wife said that they were actually into that shit. But he would never fly solo, as she called it. Like it's not something that he did alone because of the obvious danger.
Right,
so he was very safe.
You need a buddy, man.
Trying to choke yourself out while you
Well, I guess
orgasm.
he was. Yeah, but I guess he was. Whacking it out. Well, there's nobody else there. I mean,
that's what they do.
Really?
You edge yourself. You know what edging is, where you get yourself close and then you don't finish and you keep doing
work for the monster explosion after a few hours.
You prolong it for a big boom at the end.
Yeah.
The whole process takes about 25 seconds.
You do that,
you
choke yourself. You get to the point right where you're getting ready to pass out, and then you time it correctly, and it's supposed to be out of this world. I don't know. Never tried it. Doesn't seem worth it.
No, it's too risky for me.
But that's the same reason some people like to be choked during sex. It's the same exact thing.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm on the choking end of that.
But it's autoerotic when you do it to yourself. Otherwise, it's like somebody else erotic.
Then it's heteroerotic.
His wife was quoted telling ABCnews.com in an interview that she believes he was murdered, and that's all there is to it. That he didn't actually accidentally do that to himself. It's not an act, and he never flew solo when doing that.
All right. Well, what's the motive of killing this guy, though? That's the question.
Right. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Like, what did he do that was like controversial?
Again, what is it always? It's money.
The elite pedophile ring, was he?
Well, now
that'll get you killed.
Since we're speaking of Eddie Mannix, how about George Reeves?
Oh, the old Superman.
Yeah. Now you've heard this story?
No.
We talked about it a little bit before. He didn't know exactly. George Reeves
they made a movie about it.
Right. What was the name of that
Hollywood
movie?
Land.
Hollywood
It's
Land.
actually pretty close to, accurate depiction of what happened. So apparently George Reeves is kind of toward the end of his career. He's getting sick of playing Superman, so all he can really do is go to these little kiddie shows, and he's got kids pointing guns at him, seeing if the bullets will bounce off him. So it's getting a little old.
He'd be a little scared after a while.
Yeah, that's a true story. Kid pointed a loaded gun at him. Did you know that?
No. What happened?
His mom took it away.
How the fuck did he get it there?
Yeah, the kid had a loaded pistol.
I'm gonna grab my Pappy's 45, take it down, and
wanted to see the bullets bounce off his chest.
I'd be like, no, I got my glasses on. I'm Clark Kent. Don't shoot me. Everybody knows Clark Kent can die.
Anyway, he's got his little bungalow up in the Pacific Palisades, I believe, and he's somebody's having a party. He's pissed off. Hey, keep it down. I'm trying to get some sleep. Goes upstairs. One shot. He's dead. Now there's 3 bullets though. There's 2 in the floor, one in the ceiling.
Go back to his death.
He goes upstairs to his bedroom to go to sleep.
And then there's a shot that's taken?
Right. Yeah.
Or he
the people
himself.
Here. Well, that's the story.
That's the story, okay.
There were no powder burns on his hand or
no
himself.
GSR.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. There were 3 bullets, 2 in the floor, 1 in his head, and 1 that was lodged in the ceiling, which I guess went through his head.
It could have been shot from downstairs.
No fingerprints on the gun. So anyway, now here's the thing. He's having an affair with Eddie Mannix's wife. Not a good idea. So they think that Eddie fixed him.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
So it's a crime of passion.
It's similar to in that regard, like with the fact that there was no GSR to Kurt Cobain, who shot himself in the early 90s or something.
Yeah, that's been a while.
Shot himself with a shotgun in the head. He had no gunshot residue. He apparently had so much drugs in his system that it would likely have been impossible for him to hold that gun and shoot himself.
Really?
That's what they say.
Does Courtney Love think that he was?
Well, a lot of people think
she had something to do with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, then she's
probably not a big proponent of that idea.
Oh, yeah, right.
She's probably like,
suicide.
Kurt was fucked up.
She's on the suicide
he
ledger.
He was into some shit nobody really understood about Kurt. She talks.
You've seen her lately?
Not lately.
I saw a picture of her. Boy,
I thought she was actually a pretty good actress, though, in that People vs. Larry Flint. Did you see that movie?
Yeah, she did play.
She played Althea, his wife.
Yeah, she did play her very well. I don't know that it was an accurate portrayal, but that was a good character.
She did good acting.
Yeah, and it was great acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, George Reeves. So Freddie Prinze, he shot himself too. Remember him?
Freddie Prinze Jr.
No, his dad.
His dad.
Yeah.
Chico and the Man. It was a little before your time.
It was a variety show.
Yeah, he killed himself. Like I said, Carole Landis, she killed herself because Rex Harrison wouldn't leave his wife for her. So that's
a way old one.
She got even. 1948.
She got even.
That'll show him.
You guys know who Brian Jones is?
Sure.
He was Rolling Stones guitarist.
Yeah.
Originally replaced by Ronnie Wood, right? I believe.
I know they've had so many changes. I can't keep track.
Well, he was found dead in the bottom of his pool. His death was ruled a death by misadventure. It's kind of a cool rock and roll way to go out.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's the official.
That's the official word, death by misadventure. But many people think that he hired his contractor, Fake Thorogood, and they think they got into a fight, maybe about money or whatever, and he killed him, threw him in the pool. And apparently Thorogood on his deathbed confessed to killing him in 1993.
He did kill him.
That's what he confesses to. But, he's on his deathbed. I'm going to go ahead and make a name for myself as the guy that killed fucking Brian Jones from the Rolling Stones. You know what I mean?
Well, apparently, speaking of that, George Reeves, Eddie Mannix's wife, apparently, on her deathbed said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, Eddie killed him," or whatever.
That's the best.
If you buy that stuff, but so I don't know about that, but.
Here's one that I'm sure you know about, given your extensive old knowledge of Hollywood, the Black Dahlia.
Yeah,
story.
Black Dahlia found her in 2 pieces in a parking lot or
in
a field.
parking lot.
Yeah,
cleaned up. So she was like 23 years old when she died. She was an aspiring
Elizabeth
actress.
Short.
Elizabeth Short.
Does she have a name, or are we calling her Black Dahlia?
No, Elizabeth Short.
Elizabeth Short.
Well, because it's a takeoff of a book that came out 3 years earlier,
The
Blue Dahlia.
It's a Dashiell Hammett movie and book called The Blue Dahlia.
But she was from Boston. It's interesting in her life. When she was about 10 years old, her dad faked his death. It was after what was his job? I forget what he was doing. Any which way, the depression hits. He fakes his death by driving out to a bridge and leaving his car on it, and everybody assumes he just jumps off the bridge.
Was he in debt or something? Did he?
What's that?
Was he in debt or something? Why would
I don't know.
he do that?
I think he just did it to get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a couple years later, he gets a hold of the mom, says, I'm still alive, and the girl goes out and lives with him in California.
That's right, yeah.
And then eventually they get estranged. She goes back to the mom. She makes her way back out to California. Long story short, she's an aspiring actress. Somebody fucking kills her, chops her in half.
2 pieces.
2 pieces right at the waist,
They
basically.
thought the guy that found her thought she was a mannequin.
Clean or jagged?
It was a woman, actually, and her kid.
Oh,
she was out
it?
with a 3-year-old kid.
They were clean cut?
Yeah,
it was pretty much a clean cut.
Pretty good slice, yeah.
Like a bandsaw would do like a...
Pretty much, yeah.
Like she was under a big old window. Chopped her in half.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, like from the movie Ghost.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Willie.
But what was weird, she was cleaned up, so she was obviously killed in another place and transported and put there. And her intestines were basically neatly tucked up under her and in her.
Yeah, they did a good job of...
There was no pile of blood around.
No.
There was
the organs were all...
So that's secondary.
They said there was a concrete bag, whatever that means, real close on the scene with a lot of watery blood in it. I don't know if that means maybe it's just what they used to
That was in 47?
47, exactly.
Yeah, the Blue Dahlia.
They made a movie about the Black Dahlia.
Never found the murder.
Yep.
Yeah,
just
that's
one of
another
those
unsolved
things.
Wow, that's nuts.
You know who Reva Steenkamp is?
No.
So this isn't really.
These are a lot of.
This one, I
is
don't even know this one. Yeah.
You will whenever I tell you who killed her. This was, I don't know, less than 10 years ago. It happened in South Africa. She was the wife of the Olympic runner Oscar Pistorius.
Pistorius, yeah. The guy with, guy with the amputations, right? Yeah.
Tink Tink?
Tink Tink. No,
Has
that's
it been that long?
Tink Tink?
Yeah, it's not. His name isn't Tink Tink.
But is that who we're talking about here? Same guy?
Yeah, I guess so.
The one that he talks about?
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Cat Williams talks about poor little Tink Tink. The runner. You know,
is that because it makes that sound when he? See, he's got those blades.
Yeah, I get you. He's got those weird. He looks like an alien.
Yeah, bent backwards paperclip.
What had happened was he was in bed, right, and I guess his wife had got up to go to the bathroom or something. And he woke up and thought he heard an intruder, so he gets his gun out and fires 3 shots through the door, shooting and killing his wife.
Ooh. I believe that.
The first time they had a trial, he got off, but I think they retried him and he went to prison over it. So,
well, speaking of those 3 trials, you guys ever heard of Fatty Arbuckle?
Yes, but I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, I've heard of that, but I don't know who that is.
This was a big, this is probably probably the first big scandal in Hollywood.
Let's hear it.
Well, it's 1921. Fatty Arbuckle's like a comedian. He's funny. Everybody, in fact, if you go on YouTube, you can still see his stuff. And he was working with Max Sennett and Buster Keaton. All this. He is big. He's making $1 million a year.
That's huge. In
that's
those
good
days.
money.
That's like $20 million a year these days.
In fact, he just signed a new contract, and he says, "Hey, it's Labor Day." His buddy goes, "Let's go up to San Francisco and have a party."
Not responsible for the transaction.
So he goes up. Yeah, he goes up for the party, and his ass was a little sore because he sat on an acid rag. Somebody had been working on his car, so he was like, "Now let's go." So they go, and there's a gal there named Virginia
really
Rapé.
Chaps my ass.
Yeah, he was a little. Yeah, he was a little chafed. Anyway, according to this gal named what was her name? Desmond, I believe her name was, who is like this noted gal for putting on parties and then blackmailing people at the parties about rape and everything. Well, what happens is Virginia Rapé has a peritonitis, punctured bladder, and dies.
Bummer.
Now the story is that Arbuckle goes into the other room with her and rapes her with a beer bottle or something. And so. But anyway, that's three trials later.
They had huge beer bottles back in those days,
yeah, almost like a jar, kind of
like a fifth,
like a Mickey's Big Mouth.
Yeah.
And anyway, so the gal's dead, and his career's ruined. 3 trials cost him like $700,000, and pauperizes him. After
but did he get off?
Yeah, found not guilty. In fact, there was no evidence whatsoever he did any of this stuff.
Did he have any money left over afterwards?
Not much. He was he's penurious. He was indigent.
Cat in the chat brings up a good one.
That was it.
Who?
That was it for his career.
Jfk Jr.
Oh, the plane crash. Now he was flying to what, Martha's Vineyard or something
for
like that?
a wedding, wasn't he?
Right. Him, his wife, and one other person.
Sister-in-law, I believe. The sister-in-law went too.
And they crashed basically right into some rocks on the shore, I think.
Oh, did they? I thought he made it out to sea. I don't know. Did he make? I thought he crashed into the ocean. Never found him, right?
I thought they did.
He's flying in the fog. I mean, like really experienced pilots are not going out in this gloom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like an idiot. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Right, and he had nowhere near the hours he needed to fly on instruments because he couldn't see a damn thing. And he's like, he takes off.
He's a fucking kiddie, man.
Right.
I just thought now, his vacant Senate seat in New York went to who?
I don't think he was in the Senate.
No, what was it?
You're thinking of Ted Kennedy, maybe?
No.
He was
he was in the Senate. Yeah, but I think he was done too. I mean, he was cancer. But, yeah, John, I think, smashed into the sea. I don't think he ever found his remains.
Yeah, there was a lot of stories that came out. Like the New York Post ran this big old headline, "He didn't want to fly." JFK Jr. quoted saying, "I'm really not that experienced to pilot." So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of weird shit.
They grounded up and down the coast. All these flights were grounded, and these guys are, legitimate pilots.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
From what I read, though, the sister-in-law said, "Hey, I'm not getting on that damn plane," and he's, I know what I'm doing or whatever, and not a good move.
Let's move way back to the other side.
Apparently, though, since we're talking about Superman, there's a curse of the Supermans. Because Christopher Reeve, of course.
Yeah, Christopher Reeve's
and if you look that up,
and Dean Cain's career was killed.
Yeah, there's.
No,
is that rough?
On,
put an end to it. Yeah, that was fatal.
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Bad.
Ripley's Believe It or Not. He took that over from Jack Palance, who did way better, in my opinion, too.
Well, I bet Dean Cain couldn't do one-handed push-ups like Jack Palance did.
Jack Palance was a bad
Jack Palance was badass for sure.
Yeah.
He's got bottles of water in the fridge.
Probably.
Walter Jack Palance.
No, I'm good.
I've got my beverage. Yeah. Anyway, he was in Shane. Remember, he was.
Oh yeah, Shane was a great
Black
flick.
Jack Wilson. Yeah, Jack Wilson. But yeah, that curse is kind of eerie about the curse of the Supermans, because none of them really ended up very well, including Margot Kidder. They found her in a bush.
Lord, she's insane.
Yeah, she's out of her mind. So that didn't help.
What do you know about Natalie Wood?
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean,
there's who's to say what happened there? So the story goes, she's out on a boat with her husband Robert Wagner, who What was his famous roles?
Well, he's still alive, actually.
Right,
but
he was in the Austin Powers movies. He played number one.
Yeah,
didn't he?
yeah, he's good. He's really good. And I remember him as Prince Valiant, 1954.
Sure.
Which maybe we should get for our archives.
Sure.
Yeah,
gotta have it on Amazon. I'll find it.
But he was also in that movie. In that TV series, Heart to Heart, with Stephanie Powers. See, that's why they're suspecting foul play, because they were having an affair.
Well, that's what she was. She was a little accusatory about that,
right?
And there's also talk since Christopher Walken, for whatever reason, he was on the boat. She might have been flirting with him.
But what I've heard is that Robert Wagner was flirting with him.
Well, I heard they got into a fight. Walken and Wagner actually got into a fight. She went down below, and from then I get kind of murky on exactly what happened.
See, now she made it. Here's the weird thing, because she made a movie with Robert Redford called Inside Daisy Clover, because they were really good friends. They both went to Hollywood High together and everything. And there's this big swimming pool in one of the scenes, and he tosses her into the swimming pool, and she goes nuts because she's like deathly afraid of water.
Right.
He didn't know that, and she's just going crazy.
Well, she fell off the boat apparently and
what's
drowned.
She doing? So. Yeah, what's she doing off Catalina? That's what's weird, but I guess Anyway, but what I read is that Walken and Wagner were.
Don't you ever say that about Christopher Walken again? Hmm? He's a man's man.
I like Christopher Walken.
Me too.
That's all I can say. The guy plays Russian roulette, so.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so anything's possible.
How about Michael Jackson? Is there a weirder fucking guy?
Now that doctor, talk about an enabler.
What was his name? Conrad.
Yeah.
Murray, maybe.
What is that guy doing with a license?
What was he prescribing? Propanol?
Propofol.
Propofol.
That's what we put people out with.
Propofol. Yeah, it was like an anesthetic.
I just want to get really fucked up and maybe go on a roller coaster.
Take Bubbles with you.
Yeah.
Me and Bubbles to get fucked up and go on a Ferris wheel.
Is Bubbles still around?
You know what I heard?
Probably.
And I'm sorry to anyone who really loved Michael Jackson.
I liked Michael Jackson.
And I don't know that there's a lot of truth to this, because I saw it on a YouTube video. So, we reserve the right to be wrong. But I heard that his producers of his music, like from the major record label that he was with, which was
Sony.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
So when he died, they came in and found, because they went
Epic back in the day, and then before that it was Motown. But
they found
I'll buy that.
Photographs and video of him molesting and having sex with children.
I just don't buy it.
No, listen. It said all 5 of the kids that had actually accused him in court, there was video and photographic evidence that he did.
You don't buy that? I do.
See,
and listen.
Here's why.
Now, here's the thing, though. The reason that they covered it up and buried it was because if they put this shit out there, everybody's done buying Michael Jackson.
I don't know
no more.
about
So
that.
they stand to lose money if this comes out.
I'm not sure about
now,
that.
People will still keep buying Michael Jackson, and under their Sony label or their whatever label, they still get money from that, right?
Sure.
So they put this evidence out.
I'm just not sure that rationale. I mean, I would think that doesn't hurt his reputation one bit, because I think we all know he's a little.
Right, but with proof of it, no one's gonna. You'll feel bad buying a Michael Jackson.
You don't believe that.
Here's my thoughts. He hung out with 2 kids, famous Hollywood kids, Macaulay Culkin and Corey Feldman.
Look how they both ended up.
They both ended up weird, but they had the
both
weirdest.
Both of them talking about Hollywood pedophilia.
all the time. But both of them quoted saying Michael Jackson was never anything more than a friend who his house was an escape for them to be a kid.
Yeah, but they weren't the ones that sued him, right? I mean,
no, but that's my point though. If these kids who, like, especially Corey Feldman, who was really in tune with the whole pedophilia thing because his buddy Corey Haim was apparently being tossed around like a fucking, as Eric likes to say, fifth of whiskey, which makes no sense. People pass around fifths of whiskey. But if Corey Feldman isn't getting any kind of vibe that Michael Jackson's a pedophile, and you think he'd be ultra sensitive, but I gotta go with the Corey Feldman feeling.
Yeah, but the question is, isn't there something a little screwy about a guy having kids over for sleepovers? A grown man. I mean, I like kids, but not that much. I mean, I like Chris's baby. She's beautiful. Once she leaves, that's cool. Yeah. I don't want to have her overnight, and that's a beautiful little baby. I don't want to sleep with kids or just as friends. I mean, I just don't.
No, I hear you.
What guy wants to do that?
A guy who, I mean, in all actuality, had no childhood. Think about it, when you're 5 years old and your dad's beating you to make sure you hit every note on key.
I guess.
And you're on tour, going to the Apollo, going to every fucking big, stadium in the country and across the world. The kid never knew anything other than, let's do an interview.
Yeah, but like
I don't got time to go ride roller coasters anywhere because Joe ain't gonna let us.
But like in the good old days,
number one,
right?
Or else my dad's gonna beat me.
Yeah, well, you could be like Joan Crawford though, and have like a little place where you give them all kids, and then you can beat the crap out of your kids. That's normal.
Mommy dearest type of thing.
Yeah, right. That's what you would do. But she was really generous to these like orphans.
I don't know. My thought is, I don't think he was a.
I don't think sleepovers.
You guys think he was?
Yes.
I think he was a child molester.
Something's wrong.
You guys think he was a child molester?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Well, I guess we'll agree to disagree on that one.
Okay. Well, speaking of, since
was
we're talking
his music not phenomenal?
Oh,
so
yeah,
his
guy's
was
very
excellent.
talented guy.
I'm not
Very
saying
good
that.
music.
I'm not going to deny that.
I think he was
guy had great talent. Unbelievable.
Now, the Princess Diana thing, I didn't really want to touch. I feel like there's a show there. So
there's definitely a show
I
around
wouldn't call that
Princess
Hollywood, though.
Right.
Yeah, that may be. Now, this guy is definitely. Have you guys ever heard of Thomas Ince?
Not even once.
All right. This guy's a father of the Western. Anything, pretty much every way, all the things we do for production of films these days, you can ascribe to this guy. Because before it was a real slipshod kind of thing, He was the first guy to actually have a production designer and a PA and all this stuff, and actually made it like they're making movies, like it's a business. Well, anyway, William Randolph Hearst, and I know you guys have heard of him.
Right, the newspaper guy.
He's right. He's the most powerful man in the country, probably. It's like 1920, I think it's 24. Hearst's got a yacht. Let's all go down to San Diego on my yacht.
Sounds like fun.
Him, his mistress, Marion Davies, who's a big star.
Sure.
Charlie Chaplin.
Heard of him.
And a few other people, and Thomas Ince. Well, now this is where things vary. According to the coroner, all of a sudden they go up to San Francisco instead of San Diego.
That's a lot further of a trip.
Ince is dead. The coroner says it's a heart attack. Okay, now here's what apparently the real story is.
Did they try to give him a burial at sea?
No, they took him. Well, they had everything. They did. Before anybody else could do an autopsy, they burned him. They cremated him.
Again, OBL.
So yeah. So anyway, what apparently happened was William Randolph Hearst was really worried about Charlie Chaplin screwing around with his mistress, and it's dark. They're out in the water somewhere. He thinks Chaplin's walking out of his mistress's cabin. It's Ince walking down the hall, and he blows his brains out.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And they say, we got to cover this up real quick.
So how do they cover up a blow brains out with a heart attack?
Well, when the coroner,
I guess.
When you're William Randolph Hearst, you can do anything you want.
They covered his head with the towel. It's obviously a heart attack.
Slipped on a bar of soap. Yeah. So anyway, that was the end of that.
Slipped on a bar of soap and blowed a fucking hole in his head.
Yeah. Now there's actually a movie about it, directed by Peter Bogdanovich, called, I think it's The Cat's Meow. It's interesting. They make them. Yeah, it's about that night, and. Apparently, Luella Parsons was on the ship too for some reason. She was a nobody, but for the rest of her life, she was on Hearst. She was like at the job as like her and Hedda Hopper were the big Hollywood, the Rona Barretts of their time or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but she worked for the rest of her life for Hearst. So they all clammed that one up. He was also called the father of the Western, Thomas Ince.
I was not aware of that.
So that was the end of him.
Who else we got on our list here? Whitney Houston.
So what happened to her?
I thought she smoked crack until she died, was what I thought.
So she died of an accidental drowning after falling into a tub at the Beverly Hills Hilton.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Was it from smoking
drugs,
crack?
Right?
She was on drugs, right?
They found
drugs. But there's a PI who I guess is based in L.A. who thinks she was murdered by some thugs from back east who were trying to collect on a $1.5 million drug debt that she owed.
Drugs?
She owed or Bobby Brown owed? Because he smoked his.
Who knows? Maybe both of them.
He smoked some crack.
Maybe they got there and they're like, "Where's fucking Bobby Brown?" And she's like, "I'm on fucking crack.
I don't know.
Shit."
Cracked out and shit.
And they killed her.
That could be.
I mean, I don't know. It's pretty weird though.
I like making up my own stories for shit like that.
That was who? Knows. Whitney Houston?
Whitney Houston.
Isn't she related to Crystal Gale? Aren't they
I have no
cousins
clue.
or something?
She's like.
Okay, I thought she had some famous.
Let's talk about Nicole Brown Simpson. I call that a Hollyweird death because the Juice was an actor. What's weird about it?
Yeah, sure.
Do we really? I mean, really know what happened?
We don't know.
I think we got a pretty good notion.
Without much
you said it before the show. He lost the civil suit, dude.
He did lose the civil suit. So OJ lost, or he was found not guilty by a jury of his peers for the murder.
Correct.
Of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman.
But that has to be unanimous, of course.
Right. But the civil suit where the family sued him for wrongful death.
Right.
He actually lost the judgment and owed them millions and millions of dollars.
Yes.
So they won that he was the cause of a wrongful death, which basically means he killed him.
Yeah.
Long story short, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but since double jeopardy, he can't be retried for that.
No, not for that. But then the stupid ass, he's still in jail for that Las Vegas.
What a goddamn moron!
For a bunch of football cards and stuff.
Like they weren't looking for a reason to put you away, Juice.
Yeah,
give them a reason.
Yeah, you would think you'd be laying low.
Yeah. Well, the glove fit this time. They did not agree.
He was supposed to be the Terminator.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But he was too nice a guy.
OJ?
Yeah, that's why they didn't give it to him. He said everybody thinks he's such too nice a guy.
I'm glad.
He can never kill anyone.
I like Arnold.
Well, yeah, now, but in retrospect. But
what do you know about Sid Vicious and his old lady Nancy?
I saw the movie.
Sid and Nancy?
Quite a pair.
So Sid Vicious was I think a bass player for Sex Pistols, right?
Sex Pistols, yeah.
So in 1978, Sid wakes up in his hotel room to find his girlfriend Nancy dead from a knife wound, and he has no recollection of what happened.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
And then some 4 months later, he dies. Before anything's found out of a heroin overdose. A lot of people, again, think this was another drug deal going wrong. Like a drug dealer came in, killed her, and eventually came back around, finished the job, and killed him.
Really?
I don't remember how the movie.
I never saw the movie. I'll buy it.
Gary Oldman played him in the movie.
For $1.
Gary Oldman can play anything. He's right up there with the guy that played Bill the Butcher. Who played Bill the Butcher? Help me out here. Last of the Mohicans. Who played Last of the Mohicans? What's his name?
Oh, you mean Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yeah, that's another guy who's basically...
He can play any role.
It's like he's camouflaged every time he goes out. You don't know it's him, or he's just so different from every other character. Gary Oldman's a fucking maniac.
Ever heard of Peg Entwistle?
Not even once, no.
She's the Hollywood sign girl. She decided it's all, the whole thing stinks. She's a Broadway actress, moves out to L.A., to Hollywood to get making the pictures. It's early talkies, can't do it. Gets on a ladder, climbs 50 feet up on the Hollywood H sign, and jumps off. Which splat. Apparently was not. She was the first, but apparently that was kind of a thing.
It started it.
Yeah.
It's like the suicide forest in Japan. Once somebody did it.
Right. That's like jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. Although now they have nets, ruining everybody's good time. But apparently for a while there, that was the thing to do. If you're not making it in Hollywood, climb up on the H and jump. So that was Peg Entwistle.
I would climb up on the L.
Would you?
The
Y.
The A.
The A?
It fell down a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, Hollywood Land. Yeah, that's right.
I was trying to come up with one that was after the Hollywood. But wait a minute, there's already 2 L's used.
Hollywood Land.
Rejiggered the joke and say it again.
Yeah, but what a way to go, huh?
Lauren in the chat brings up a good one we've covered on a true crime show before. Chris Benoit. I consider that Hollywood Land.
That's the wrestling show,
definitely
isn't it?
a Hollyweird. Hollyweird.
Hollyweird, yeah,
death.
I guess.
Simulation. You having a little trouble there in the simulation?
Simulation, yeah. Similar.
When we were doing the simulation theory show, I couldn't even say the word simulation. I kept saying like bastardized versions.
He would cross like civilization and simulation and be like civilization.
What show is this?
Simulation. Yeah. It was our simulation theory show.
Oh, right.
Ever fucked it up, was tongue-tied the whole time.
Well, I mean, Hollywood's full of, if we're not necessarily talking about murder, there's all kinds of weird stories. Like Errol Flynn was charged with rape. Statutory rape.
Bill Cosby just got off. I mean, well,
is he off or is
that's just out of that was just bad form there.
No pun intended.
Well,
no, it was a mistrial, so I assume that they'll redo it.
That's right.
But he's free for now.
He
was accused by so many people of.
He had Johnny Cochran, I guess.
What?
I guess he had Johnny Cochran.
Yeah, he had to. Yeah, something.
Now, I don't know if I could say that because I have a friend of mine that swears that he slept with one of the guys on OJ's, speaking of his, the Dream Team.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was not a female on the Dream Team. So he always telling me he's like a hustler. And this guy bought his
This is where he's using that term hustler again.
Yes.
Male gigolo.
Yes. My friend claims
male prostitute.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you who.
You'd be surprised how many people don't know.
Do I know this person?
The reason that the Kardashians are even famous is because their father, before the Bruce Jenner thing,
Armenian
she
guy.
was married to what was his name, Rob Kardashian, right? And he was OJ's lawyer.
High-powered. Yeah.
Oh, he was Armenian?
Yeah,
sure. You know that Kardashians are all Armenian? Armand's an Armenian. They're partially related.
I knew Armand was an Armenian.
I couldn't be related to them. Yeah.
Anything that ends in Ian, you can be pretty sure it's Armenian.
Yeah, IAN or YAN.
Yeah.
Yeah, so protect your wallet.
Why? Are you Armenian steal stuff?
Yeah.
No, he said,
consult Armenia proud.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so, I've got around you. Oh, Johnny Stompanato. We didn't go over him.
No clue.
Stompanato?
Another gangster. Another Mickey Cohen's bodyguard. Remember the movie, the one with Russell Crowe?
Gladiator.
No, like
the one where he's the boxer?
Came out in 90. L.A. Confidential.
Sure, okay. Yeah.
Remember where they're all the girls are made up to be Hollywood stars, and the guy thinks Lana Turner is one of the whores. That's the real Lana Turner. Well, she's sitting with Johnny Stompanato, and this guy beat the crap out of her. The guy's a gangster. In fact, he goes over. She's making a movie with Sean Connery in '57, I think, and the guy goes over because he thinks she's getting a little too friendly with him and threatens him with a gun, and Sean just does a James Bond on him, bends his wrist and pops him.
Yeah, you don't fuck with Sean Connery.
Yeah, he knocked him out.
I'll knock your ass out.
Yes, pussy galore. And so anyway, he's beating the crap out of Lana Turner in her bedroom. He walks out, and her daughter Cheryl Crane stabs him in the gut and kills him.
Fuck.
That's Hollyweird.
Not guilty by reason of justified homicide. So there you go. Now, of course, she was also before married to or going out with Stompanato. She's married to Lex Barker, who was Tarzan.
Of course, Bob Barker's brother.
No, this guy's no relation. Big, strong dude.
Price is wrong,
and he's raping the hell out of Cheryl, the daughter, for years.
That's horrible, man.
That's
so that's not right. That's Hollyweird.
Hollyweird.
In fact, you want to hear weird? Nicholas Ray. This is my favorite story. Nicholas Ray, who directed Rebel Without a Cause and a lot of big-time movies. He marries Gloria Graham. He's a lot older. He's like 20 years older than her. Gloria Graham wins the Academy Award for Bad and the Beautiful. Beautiful woman. She's sleeping with his 13-year-old son. He catches them, gets a divorce. She ends up marrying the son. 13.
What a pimp.
Yeah, right on, man.
How's that always the way that works? 13.
See, I mean, these stories, I don't know if they're
teachers sleeping with their kids and their students in school now. You know what I mean? It's like that.
Did you see that South Park episode where it was about that? Every time that happened to a boy kid, every guy's reaction was nice.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Kidding.
But if it's a girl, it's like,
yeah, that's gross.
Hang him up.
Now, would you be that upset if your 14-year-old son came home and said, "Dad, I've been screwing my teacher"?
Well, I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, motherfucker, you should be at school learning, not banging your teacher. I'm at once jealous and outraged.
She gonna pay your college education? Didn't think so.
Now you're going to bring me into the newspapers.
I don't know, man. I don't think I'd be that upset. If I was a guy's teacher, I think I'd probably smack him around.
Yeah, that's just sexist. I don't care, teacher, male or female. You're banging somebody at school. It's just not right. That's not what I
guess not, but man.
Granted, when I was a kid, would I have banged a teacher?
Oh, yeah.
At any of the ones who were...
Any chance, don't care if it's Miss Baumgartner, Oral Wooden Tit.
Please don't say their names.
That's a joke.
Good Lord.
Yeah, who have we forgotten?
That's all I had on my
list.
We
hammered through some Hollyweird Deaths and Hollyweird Weirds.
Yeah, I mean, Lionel Atwill.
Patreon.
He was a. Remember the Mel Brooks movie? I'm sure you guys. Young Frankenstein.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Well, remember the guy with the arm, the not the cop, that has a wooden arm.
Yep.
Well, the actual guy that played that's kind of a takeoff from Son of Frankenstein. This guy Lionel Atwill, who was noted for being mad scientist in all these horror movies. Well, he got arrested once. Apparently, he had young girls brought to his house, and they're showing him porn movies, and he's naked, running around having little orgies with underage women.
Fucking chomos, man.
That's that's Hollywood, man.
Right,
and
it's full of fucking.
Which I guess this is the time to announce that this is the last episode of the show. I'm stopping it before we get caught up in the Hollyweird land thing and get killed ourselves, or we kill each other.
He's bullshitting because we'll go through whatever lengths it takes.
So we will kill each other.
We're fearless.
That's fine. I'll kill you first before you kill me.
You guys ever been to L.A.?
I've been to LA a couple times.
Right. No, I've never been past
Kansas City.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Kansas City.
He's not much of a traveler yet.
The furthest I've been away was when we went to
New Jersey. Yeah.
Atlantic City, New Jersey. When we went.
That was the first traveling you ever really did, wasn't
it? Yeah. Well, we drove to.
We did it.
Remember when we drove to Dad's down there in Batesville, Arkansas? Yeah,
that's not that far.
We went down there, and that was 6 hours.
6 hour driving shit, man.
No, but
I don't know. It was pretty fun though. We tried to do an episode there in Atlantic City on marijuana.
Oh wow, remote.
We set up a remote studio in our hotel room, and we're gonna record. We decided we're gonna do it on marijuana, but we're gonna get really baked beforehand. We took it too far.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
really?
took it too far. Our episode, the first one, we did a 3-part on it. The first one was about just what is marijuana, blah 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 blah.
That was the bad one.
Oh God. The next two were pretty good. The prohibition.
Yeah, when we were in studio recording, and we were good.
Yeah, when we weren't all ripped out of our gourds.
Yeah, the one that was in Atlantic City, I was on vacation, so I maybe took it too far. You're gonna have that from time to time. I was off my tits. It happened.
Our remotes never do seem to work. Remember we did the remote from that
the
pizza joint?
Yeah,
that didn't work out.
Yeah.
We tried to do a remote at the. Remember the.
Oh, the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah,
that didn't do very good.
That was interesting. I didn't see anything haunted there at all.
No.
It was a cool house.
Couple things that were creepy. Nothing was haunted though.
Yeah, weird furnace in there. But what are you gonna do?
I was talking about Ocha, man, trying to get them 2 chicks.
Yeah.
You know Oach. He's our boy.
Yeah,
all right.
So if you're not in the group, join the group.
Facebook.com/group/Surreal Talk.
like us on Facebook, like us in the group.
I think we're almost up to 1,000 people or something on there.
850 or so.
Let me look here.
Leave reviews on Facebook and iTunes. We love that. That
874 members as of the recording of the show.
Yeah.
We're adding probably 5 or 6 a day.
You could go to, if you feel like donating to the show, like we do a decent job. If not, no big deal. Go to patreon.com/Surreal
Talk.
Surreal Talk. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Surreal Talk, on Twitter at twitter.com/Surreal Talk Show, on YouTube at youtube.com/Surreal Talk Podcast. Be sure to hit the bell to get the notifications from us.
Hey, nice. Make sure to like, thumbs up, subscribe to everything.
Share.
We're doing one of those things that all the other YouTube videos do. Make sure to thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's so
pandery. Oh, we're 2 subscribers away from 600 on YouTube. So if you're just listening to the podcast and you don't catch us on YouTube, maybe come by and hang out with us on a Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Central and get in live with the chat and, interact with us.
Yeah. Did we get a lot of input today? Or
today we had up to 10, 15 people on at all times.
It wasn't too bad.
Chat was pretty good. We pulled out a lot of neat little tidbits. I wouldn't have thought of Michael Jackson had somebody not mentioned him in chat.
Yeah,
he wasn't on my list.
Either. No, he wasn't on the list.
Chris Benoit was mentioned in the chat. So, John Wayne. What do you got on John Wayne?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He died of
Marissa,
cancer.
Yeah, Marissa brings it up. I heard they froze him, but other than that,
I heard he was very well hung. Like Milton Berle. Milton Berle's supposedly the big. If you want to talk about that kind of stuff, Milton Berle.
Really.
They actually, it's a famous story. Like he's taking a piss, and some guy, because everybody apparently in Hollywood knew this, and some guy comes in and challenges him, and Jackie Gleason's at the next urinal, and his famous joke, he goes, "Just take out enough to win."
That's horrible. Just take out enough to win. So, Lauren in chat actually brings up one about the Wizard of Oz, the myth that the midget hung himself.
I don't think. I think that is a myth.
Yeah.
But the thing that's true about that is what's really weird, because there's still the Culver City Hotel, which is where they shot it. And these midgets are these young little people. These people came from all over the country because they found these, and they had never met other little people. So these are people that are really, kind of, their whole lives have been isolated. And they're kind of freaks. Well, apparently they put them up in this hotel, and they're just fucking all over the place because they never met anybody else, and it's just like this big orgy of dwarfs.
Right.
So they had to call the cops and everything.
A dwarf orgy.
Yeah, it was crazy. They went out of.
I had a nickel for every time
I've been doing my life. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening this week. We'll catch you next week. Don't know what the topic is yet. Get on the group. We'll probably announce it sometime on there this week.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe.
Until next time, this has been Surreal Talk.
Yep. Thank you for Eric Everett and our guest Armand. Thank you again, Armand. We appreciate you. Always love your input.
Clear on the stream.
Clear on the stream. All right. Shouldn't be much after the video this week. I gotta go.
Eric's got a little bit of an emergency. He's got to run very fast to another room. Oh yeah, you're gonna want to get back in. I don't have them. You have them. Oh, there you go. Here it is. So I'm gonna take this time now that he's gone. For anybody on the stream, make sure you vote Team Everett on the poll at SurrealTalkPodcast.com. On the right hand side, it's a little bitty poll. Just click my name, or if you're on mobile, go all the way down the bottom of the page, and again, click my name. give a big old fuck you to Eric because he doesn't deserve to win. That's all I got. That's all I got. Oh, the TV just blew. All right. Excellent. So, you guys like the show today? Thank you. Appreciate that. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I knew we had to come up with a lot of people because just there's so much about some of these deaths that you can either get real in depth and spend a lot of time on them, or you can just go over them and you know how we do here. Go look it up yourself. That's kind of what happened on a lot of these. Jay, lots of Illuminati deaths. I mean, maybe. Sing us a song? God, I love to sing too. What to sing? I should bring my guitar in sometime and play a song after the show because I'm so good at that. Go throw ice water on Eric while he poos. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. The logistics, though, are just too much for me right now. All right, I guess I'm going to go ahead and kill the stream. Hey, Ape, if you're watching, I'll be home in about 15, 20 minutes. Anybody else? We'll catch you next week. See you in the group. Again, a big apology, and I don't know if you're watching right now. And again, I forgot your name. Abelin Cahill. Sorry I didn't call you last week. Next time we have a call-in show, for sure I want to have you on. And we'll talk about, she has a lot of information on, like, Irish supernatural stuff, which would be cool to hear about. So, anyway, next time, catch you then. Hasta a little later.